Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sports Desk with Ryan Potts and Jack Mitchell. I'm Ryan Potts, otherwise known as Splash. You can find me on social media at Mr. Splashman19 on Twitter and Instagram. And I'm on the U Stadium app as Splash. You can find Jack on U Stadium as Jack Mitchell and on Instagram as Jack_Mitchell_01. How's it going, Jack?
3 words. Goff for Stafford. Let's go. I'm so hyped.
That was a saucy trade. Trade. I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for Lions fans like my dad. As much as I've kind of slandered Goff in a way, I think Goff can win games in the NFL. He's shown that he can win games. And if I'm Detroit, I think you can do something this year. You get the number 7 pick. You can pick someone, retain Galladay. I don't think you're going to be a bad team in 2021.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll talk more about that later, though, because we got a lot to talk about today.
Oh, yeah, and I have a quick story. So, as we know, last week on the show, I couldn't find my script, and it was there all along. It was in my Google Docs page, but it wasn't me and Jack. It was for me and Alex from the Lambeau Leaper show that we had a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, that was a bummer. Yeah. But, hey, we're back. We got the ladies and gentlemen back, boys and girls. We're here, and we're ready to talk about Super Bowl 55. We mentioned it last week. But we didn't talk about it last week. Let's hop in. Who you got, Jack? Bucks or Chiefs?
Chiefs.
Yeah.
I don't have a score in mind, but I feel like the Chiefs have just been a great team this year. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. They've been really turning it up in the playoffs as of late. I know Kelsey always shows up in these kind of games, too. I don't know if they'll have Watkins. I know they said he was questionable. But I still like Tyreek Hill. I don't know if... Is Edwards-Helaire playing? I'm pretty sure he's playing.
Yeah, he should be playing.
Yeah.
And Bell should be back, too.
Yeah. I feel like they just have way too many weapons on offense. Don't get me wrong, the Bucs have their weapons. But I know Antonio Brown is questionable.
I really want AB to play.
Yeah, I hope he does play. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. And then, of course, I don't think I have to mention the quarterback. So... I mean, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be close. Here's my score.
Okay.
35-30.
Chiefs okay. Win. So the Bucs do not cover. So they played, week 11, week 12, down in Tampa. Chiefs won 27-24, although I think the scoreline there is misleading. The Chiefs controlled most of the game. Actually, they controlled most of the first quarter. Then after that, Tampa controlled most of the game. The Kansas City let off the gas a little bit. I don't think Kansas City is going to do that. This could get ugly. I think Tampa is so talented that it won't get super ugly, but it could be let's go back to your Super Bowl, Jack. The Rams lost by 10. It felt like you lost by 100. I think that could be something that happens with this Chiefs-Bucs game. Like the Ravens lost to the Chiefs by 14. It felt like 30, and I think Mahomes is going to be Mahomes. You said he has a huge game. My boy, score easy man, is probably going to score a touchdown. So I think the Chiefs roll. I think they cover. The line's -3.5 right now for Kansas City. I think they win by a touchdown, win by 10 maybe, but it feels like a lot more. I know don't bet against Brady. Don't bet against whatever. You don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. You put money on Mahomes. They covered against, I guess Cleveland covered, but Mahomes missed a quarter and a half. They killed Buffalo. We talked about that last week, 2 weeks ago. They massacred Buffalo. I think they can do a very similar thing to a talented Tampa Bay team.
Yeah. So, I mean, just because you beat a team in the regular season, though, doesn't mean you're going to beat them in the Super Bowl. And we know playoff Brady is insane. Like we saw what he did in the AFC Championship a couple of years ago. He was down like everybody. And he still managed to pull off the comeback win. It's such a good game. It's such a good matchup.
Yeah, this is a dream matchup. I picked it on the app. I should have gotten my 3,000 points, Frankie. You need to run me my 3,000 points. Actually, I don't know. I don't remember I got them. But I picked the Bucs and the Chiefs. That was one of my regular preseason picks actually. I was back and forth between Tampa and New Orleans, Tampa and New Orleans, Tampa and New Orleans. And then it's like, okay, let's go Tampa. And hey, it happened, and I had $5 on the Bucs back when I started betting in mid-October. So if the Bucks win, I get $55. If the Chiefs win, I get like 25. So I mean, I win money either way. That's cool.
Yeah.
So exciting times. Who do you think will win Super Bowl MVP?
Who do I think will win Super Bowl MVP? That's a good question. Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek Hill is going to blow out.
I like that. I think Nick chose Tyreek yesterday. It's hard for me to go against Mahomes here because it's such a quarterback centric award.
I can see where you're going from.
Yeah, I'm kind of going for the low hanging fruit here with Mahomes. I think Mahomes is a big game. Sets his career high for playoff passing yards, which is only 325. I learned that over the weekend. That hey, he had 325 against Buffalo. Outside of that, he's never had more than 320 yards ish. So I think he puts up 350, 360, 370, and I think the Chiefs. I think he throws 3 or 4 touchdowns. Chiefs win. I think it's going to be an exciting game for the most part, but by the end, it's like, yeah, Kansas City's the better team. Kansas City's going to be the dynasty for the next 10 years.
Yeah, because we've talked about before how they can have a terrible game and they still just won't lose.
Right. They have such a high floor with how well Mahomes plays. It's almost impossible to beat them. You need Carlton Davis would need a pick. Whitehead, he's coming back. He needs a pick. Winfield needs a big play. Tampa needs 4 or 5 plays that if all of them go their way, they win. If one of them goes Kansas City's way, Kansas City wins. And, it's a shame. It's a shame that I think this way, but I think when it boils down to it, Kansas City has the better quarterback, has better offense. They don't have a slouch of a defense. They're better coached, and I think they overcome the home field advantage down there in Tampa and grab the dub.
All right.
So, yeah, speaking of grabbing the dubs, tomorrow night we have the NFL honors. We got the MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year. So I think I know your pick for Defensive Player of the Year. So let's hear it.
Who could it be? Could it perhaps be someone who wears number 99?
Maybe.
It was close though, honestly, between Donald and TJ Watt. I thought people were talking about how the Steelers had a cakewalk season, and while I can see that, TJ Watt still had a great year.
Right.
You don't get as many sacks as he did by accident.
And I think really, let's give some airtime to Xavier Howard. He had a masterful season at corner. PFF grade loved him. Eye test loves him. 10 interceptions. He was fantastic. He even had a good game against Patrick Mahomes. That's hard to do. And I think he's my number 2. I think I take him over TJ Watt. But I wrote an article Donald over Watt because it's harder to get pressure from the inside. Donald does it like no one else. And he's not playing with Bud Dupree and Stephon Tuitt and Cameron Hayward. When I do my Pro Bowl rosters and All-Pro rosters, it's Steeler. It's not like that with the Rams. As much as I love the Rockers and A'Shaun Robinson's still there? Or did he leave?
Yeah, he's still there.
Okay.
Leonard Floyd is the one becoming a free agent.
That's right. Okay. As much as I like the Rams defensive line, it's not Pittsburgh. It's not Tuitt. It's not. It's not. And I think what Donald does on a snap-to-snap basis is incredible. And
for an interior lineman too.
Exactly. And we talked about it probably a couple weeks ago that there were Cardinals fans and 49ers fans that were dragging Donald over the coals. He had 18 pressures in 2 games. No other player in the NFL had 18 pressures in 2 games.
No one's close.
Yeah, it's just the things that Donald does every single snap, against the run, against the pass, anything you ask, he does, and it's special to watch. I would give him Defensive Player of the Year number 3 this year. I would put X number 2, TJ Watt number 3, and then my boy All-Pro Marlowe 4 or 5.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to.
What's that number I'm trying to find about Donald? How he had it was a PFF rating or something.
He's led the NFL in pressures 3 out of the last 4 years.
I think here it is. Aaron Donald has 456 pressures since 2016 in the regular season. The next closest DI has 302. It's
That's like 2 extra pressures every single game for 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah,
That's
it's unreal.
insane. That
It's
is
unreal.
insane. And I love watching Donald play. When I break down the interior offensive lineman, defensive lineman film, Donald's a just master. Like, we talk about Mahomes as like, oh, he could be the greatest quarterback ever. Aaron Donald might be the greatest defensive lineman ever. And this isn't an exaggeration. Like with Mahomes, if he like played tomorrow and like died, like obviously don't want that to happen. But let's say he goes out, wins a Super Bowl and retires. He's not the GOAT quarterback. If Aaron Donald retired after winning Defensive Player of the Year tomorrow, you can have a pretty solid argument he's the greatest interior defensive player of all time.
He just needs a ring, man.
Yeah.
He just has to get it, and that could be the year. Again, we'll talk about that later.
It could be the year. Well, it's not the year for the MVP curse to end. I think we're probably both in agreement that Aaron Rodgers has run away with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was close. It was close between him and Josh Allen, but I think Aaron Rodgers showed a little more.
Yeah, Rodgers was sublime this year. He finished with the second highest passer rating in the history of the NFL, behind only his 2011 season. So special stuff right there. 48 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, added a couple rushing touchdowns. Packers went 13-3. He had one bad game against Tampa, oddly enough, and then he didn't have a great game against Tampa in the playoffs. But playoffs don't matter for MVP, as my Ravens love to mention. So I think Rodgers is a runaway MVP. Is he unanimous? Do you think he's a unanimous MVP tomorrow?
That's a good question. That's
Lamar
a really good
was,
question.
Brady was in 2010. Does Rodgers get unanimous?
He might. I think there's a chance, only because how much debate there seemed to be until the playoffs started. I feel like there was a lot of debate between him and Josh Allen, and then that sort of died down. And now the talk has just been about, it's Rodgers 100%.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's going to be unanimous, but
I think part of that does stem from the how the playoffs went. Allen wasn't great against Indy, wasn't great against Baltimore, wasn't great against Kansas City. But hey, I think Allen's going to garner some votes. I think Patrick Mahomes gets a few. So I don't know if Rodgers is unanimous tomorrow night, but I do think he wins in a landslide. Maybe I think there's 61 voters, so maybe like 50 to 6-5, something like that.
something like that.
I think he rolls.
Yeah.
But Offensive Player of the Year, that one's up there. And I'm not really sure who gets the award tomorrow. So I'm thinking Tyreek Hill's up there, Devontae Adams is up there, Derrick Henry, King Henry's up there. And I think everyone's kind of has their own unique way of getting there. Like last year we had Christian McCaffrey, 1,000 rushing yards, 1,000 receiving yards. And we had Michael Thomas, broke their receptions record, 1,725 receiving yards. He had a great year. And then it just they kind of were neck and neck, and you didn't know. This year, I don't know.
This year feels kind of like more of the same. It's kind of tough to call this one.
Absolutely. Of course, Devontae Adams had 18 touchdowns, most since Randy Moss in 2007. Derrick Henry had 2,000 rushing yards, most since Adrian Peterson in 2012. And Tyreek Hill was just,
He was Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, he was Tyreek Hill. I don't think there's anything more we can say about Tyreek Hill. He had 17 touchdowns, 18 touchdowns. I had him on one of my fantasy teams and just killed it.
Yeah, I think it's Tyreek Hill then. That's going to be my pick.
I think Hill is going to get dinged a little bit because he missed some time late in the season.
That's true.
He didn't play Week 17. I think it's between Adams and Henry. I feel like they're going to go Derrick Henry.
They might. They love running backs for this award too, I feel like.
Yeah. But Gurley won it in 17, right?
17.
So I'm thinking 2027 rushing yards from Henry up there. He had 17, 16 touchdowns. It's hard to go wrong with any of them, but I do think King Henry reigns supreme here.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him win. I'll put it that way.
All right.
I'll go with Tyreek Hill, but I feel like Henry. If Henry wins, I won't be upset.
Okay, let's move to one that's a little bit easier. I think Defensive Rookie of the Year. I go Chase Young.
Chase Young.
Yeah, I think we're in agreement there. Yeah. Shout out to Jeremy Chin, Patrick Queen. Not Burris. I'm totally blanking. It was Chin, Queen. I know got some buzz. I think Chase runs away with it though. Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I really hear about a lot.
Oh, and Julian Blackmon. Julian Blackmon.
Oh, yeah, him.
The Colts. He was great. Shout out to my boy Tyler in the chat. Shave your beard.
We've had this discussion.
Yes. I did post on my Snapchat, if I got 10 shave your beard splash comments, I would shave. But I have to recognize those people from Snapchat. So I don't know. So offensive rookie of the year, Justin Herbert and Justin Jefferson.
I want to give it to Justin Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Herbert's still balled out. Like this one, again, could go either way.
Yeah, this is one, like, I know you don't vote for Rookie of the Year, and you have to vote for one, which sucks, because this is one that, look, Herbert had an all-time great quarterback season as a rookie. Jefferson had an all-time great wide receiver season as a rookie. I can't split any more hairs between them. Like, both of them were dominant from day one, essentially. We'll go dominant from week 2. Jefferson got acclimated to the offense. Herbert became the starter. For 15 weeks, these guys were top of their position. You know, Herbert was a top 10, top 12 quarterback as a rookie. Jefferson was a top 5. He got all-pro votes, top 5, top 8 receiver. You can't go wrong with either. I really want it to be a tie. I don't think it is going to be a tie because if it's I
think the only reason I really want them to give it to Jefferson is because they never give this to like wide receivers. Like this feels like a quarterback award.
Right. Like, did Baker steal it from Saquon in 18?
Don't remember.
Okay. I got to go to the Pro Football Reference. But I feel like if I'm a betting man, which to be fair, I do bet occasionally. If I'm a betting man, I think it goes Herbert just because quarterback value. But yeah, I think Jefferson had a little bit better season, so I would lean Jefferson. But again, you can't go wrong with either candidate. I think one of the things we've talked about with a lot of these spots that you can't go wrong with, say, Josh Allen for MVP. You can't go wrong with Mahomes for MVP. We both think it's going to be Rodgers or even Donald with Defensive Player of the Year. I don't think you go wrong with Watt or X or any number of guys, but
go wrong with Watt in my eyes, but that's biased talking.
Yeah. Okay, it was Saquon in 2018.
Yeah.
But a lot of years, 2019 Kyler, 2016 Dak. Hey, your boy, 2015 Todd Gurley.
That was his ACL year. He was coming off the torn ACL, and then he kicked ass.
Yeah. 2012 RG3, my boy, Newton, Sam Bradford. Also your boy, Sam Bradford, Matt Ryan, Vince Young. Throwback to Vince Young. All right. So who do you think wins Coach of the Year? I think Coach of the Year pretty close this year. You got McDermott, you got Stefanski, you got Brian Flores.
This is a good one, honestly. There are a lot of really good candidates for this one because we saw what Brian Flores has done. Mm-hmm. It's a shame the way that they got eliminated, but Brian Flores was still an insane head coach. But considering the turnaround the Browns have had from where they were a few years ago to where they are now, I think Stefanski gets it.
Yeah, I think so.
This is something I'm drawing parallels between when Sean McVay won Coach of the Year. In 2016, the Rams were the bottom of the pack, dead last offense in the league, 32nd ranked. Sean McVay gets hired, and they're number 1. Mm-hmm. The Browns were 1-31 in 16 and 17. Now they are a playoff team. They destroyed the Steelers. I mean, it was the Steelers, but still, like they destroyed them. And I mean, they were under the radar for so long for me. I like almost forgot how much of a contender they were. Mm-hmm. They really had a chance to go all the way this year. I feel like. I mean,
absolutely.
They ran into who did they run into? The Chiefs. It was.
Yeah.
You're not. It's going to be really hard to beat the Chiefs under that circumstance. But the Browns, I feel like, are on the up and up, and it's because of Stefanski. I think he wins Coach of the Year for that reason.
So I think Stefanski will win Coach of the Year, but I want to give a quick shout out. Brian Flores, 10-6 Miami team. This was going into last year, one of the least talented teams I'd ever seen. Like this is a team that's more devoid of talent than the 08 Lions, more devoid of talent than the 16 and 17 Browns. They were supposed to suck last year. They didn't. Then this year, it's like, okay, they'll win like 5 games again.
They won like 9, 10.
It's like they're in a playoff spot, and then until Josh Allen goes Super Saiyan in Week 17. It was masterful coaching, and the team is still kind of devoid of talent. Offensively, you don't have the pieces around Tua that I think you can be successful with. Defensively, they're good, but a lot of it's Flores, I think. So my vote would go Flores. I do think Stefanski gets the win, though.
That's fair.
Yeah. So comeback player of the year. Do we need to discuss it?
Do we need to say his name? I don't even think we need to say his name. You guys already know him, but we're going to say it anyway. They should name the damn award after him. Alex Smith.
Actually, I like that idea. Quick shout out, Jason Verrett. Any other year, I think Jason Verrett probably deserves it.
Yeah.
Man, I think he's played like 50 snaps in the last 3 years because he just hurts himself every training camp.
I remember.
Sensational this year. Like, if it's not for Darius Williams, I'm probably putting Jason Verrett in my like all-pro team. So he's like top 5, top corner this year.
Definitely had a resurgence this year. I remember seeing a lot of news on him recently in the last few years about how he was hurt all the time. And then this year he gets like a bunch of picks and he's like, well, I remember being upset when the Rams played the 49ers and he got an interception. I was like, isn't this the dude that's hurt all the time? Mm-hmm. And he just picked off Goff. Like, I was upset, but like you said, any other year I think he wins it. It's just unfortunate timing that the one year he probably could have won it, Alex Smith comes back from almost losing his leg.
Right. I think this is a narrative award. Some years it's not. Some years it's just, like Phillip Rivers. He's like sucks one year, comes back the next year. He's come back player of the year. Or Tannehill, because he was a couple years removed from the ACL injury, like doesn't do well in Miami, then comes back 2019, balls out. I think Ben Roethlisberger deserves some credit here. He tailed off right at the end of the season, but he did come back from a serious injury and led the Steelers to a 12-4 record, won the AFC North, so props to him for that. So I think Alex Smith is a shoe-in, but I would vote Jason Verrett if it wasn't for Alex Smith. So with that said, we get to zone in on your team there, Jack.
Yes, sir.
Matt Stafford for Jared Goff, 2 firsts and a third. Again, the Rams hate their first-round picks. It's all good, no worries.
What's this weird language you use? First-round pick. I don't know what that means.
Hey, we took All-Pro Marlowe with the first-round pick.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. The Rams are a team that's really good at hitting on guys in later rounds, like Cooper Kupp, Cam Akers, Van Jefferson. Who else? Jordan Fuller, Terrell Burgess. These guys were all late-round picks. None of them were picked in the first round.
And, of course, when you're using those first-round picks, you're getting Matt Stafford, you're getting Jalen Ramsey, you got Brandon Cooks for a year, I think people can, rag on the Rams for, why are you trading all of your first-round picks? Well, you're getting Matt Stafford, who is probably better than I don't even remember what your pick. The next 2 years, you're going to have a pick in the upper 20s, more than likely, maybe even 30s. I think Stafford for the next 2 years is better than, I don't know, the equivalent of like a Patrick Queen or who did the Chiefs take last year? Edwards-Helaire. I think Stafford brings more value to your franchise for the next 2 years than your first-round picks do. Now, granted, moving forward, I might prefer to have Patrick Queen and yada, 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 and yada, yada, yada than Matthew Stafford. But I think Stafford as the quarterback, you get more value out of Stafford than you will out of, I don't even know who you'd pick at this point because you trade all of your first round picks.
But the thing is, if the Rams do get what they want, because this is a Super Bowl or bust trade, and I think I need to get this out of the way first because I feel like there's still people out there who are saying this is a fleece. This is not a fleece at all. This is two teams with polar opposite mentalities. This is the Lions trying to rebuild, and the Rams Super Bowl or bust.
Right.
So if they do get a Super Bowl ring out of this, the first round picks don't even matter, in my opinion.
I totally agree. If you I know the Chiefs traded up to get Patrick Mahomes. They probably don't. No one cares that they traded up to get Patrick Mahomes. Because hey, you won a Super Bowl, and you're probably going to win a second and a third, and so on and so forth. And the Ravens traded up for Lamar Jackson. You don't remember that they traded up for him because he's been really successful. If he sucked, then you'd be like, why did you trade up for him? But now it's like you don't even mention it. And Ramsey's been great. So you don't mention that you traded for 2 first-round picks for him. And if Stafford's as good as I think he's going to be with freaking Sean McVay, boy wonder, if he's as good as I think he's going to be, You don't care. The only time you're going to see that the Rams traded their first round picks is going to be when the Lions are picking in the first round next year and then 2023. Like that's it. That's the only time anyone's going to care. It's like, how did the Lions get this pick? Oh yeah, that's right. The Rams made a genius decision and got an elite quarterback. I don't think you pass up on a guy as talented as Matt Stafford. And I think the Lions have some upside here. Like shout out to my dad, big Lions fan. The Lions have some upside. Goff's won games in the NFL. He went to the playoffs this year, won in the playoffs with a broken thumb. And look, I get quarterback wins or whatever, but he's quarterbacking a good offense. It's like the Mac Jones thing. Like, yeah, he's playing with Waddle and Devontae Smith, and last year he played with Judy and Henry Ruggs, but he's still having to make the throws. Goff had to make the throws to Kupp and Woods and Higbee and Everett.
This is the argument that I was making in 2018 when people were saying, "Oh, it's all Sean McVay." Yeah, Sean McVay was good, but Goff still had to make the throws. Like he still had to he still had to execute. That's all. That's part of why I also kind of I don't mean to deviate too much here, but this is also kind of why I say Brady is really good because. Again, the whole Brady-Belichick debate is kind of over, but people were talking about, was Belichick the reason for their success, or was Brady the reason for their success? And Brady still had to make the throws.
Okay.
You still have to execute. You can have all the good coaching in the world, and if your team doesn't execute, you're not going to get anything done.
Yeah, and I think that's what you see when Goff does make mistakes, that against the Seattle the second time. It didn't matter that McVay was calling a good game plan or a great game plan. If Goff doesn't make the requisite throws, you lose. And when he does make the requisite throws, you guys win at a really high level. It's like, I want to see you have the 5th best winning percentage in the last couple years, something like that. And your worst season since hiring McVay is 9 wins. Oh, boo-hoo, 9 wins,
Yeah.
So I really like the deal for the Rams. I think they are a Super Bowl contender. Obviously, I think the Chiefs win this next 10 Super Bowls. So I hate to think like this, but hey, the Rams give me hope that, hey, maybe Matt Stafford gets hot and can knock off the Chiefs.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I'm just so hyped to see what the offense can do now. And I want to see if Van Jefferson can get a bigger role too, with Josh Reynolds probably leaving. I think the report was that Reynolds, Malcolm Brown, and what's his name? There was one other guy.
Corner, right? Or is it another offensive?
Gerald Everett.
Okay.
The tight end, that they would all be gone. So I think this is Van Jefferson's time to step up. And Matt Stafford is his QB.
Oh.
Cooper Kupp with Matt Stafford.
Ooh.
I'm so hyped. Bring on next year.
I've been a Rams fan, and I'm hyped for that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Detroit does. If they bring back Kenny Golladay, what DeAndre Swift does in year 2, what TJ Hawkinson does, because he had a big breakout year with Detroit. And defensively, I think Dan Campbell can do things. I don't think he's going to be as bad as Matt Patricia. I think legitimately Dan Campbell could lose half his brain and probably make more intelligent defensive decisions than Patricia. But hey, whatever. Patricia's gone.
Now
Dan Campbell is in.
Dan Campbell and Jared Goff out here about to bite kneecaps.
Yep. Do you think Jared Goff is any good at biting kneecaps?
He did play for the Bears in college, though.
That's true.
This is his college team. Yeah.
Oh, man.
And I'll mention this one last thing before we move on. We've already had our first blockbuster trade of the offseason. Or I shouldn't even say offseason, because we had a blockbuster trade. Super Bowl hasn't even been played yet. I'm hyped. This is going to be a good offseason.
Okay, amen to that. And speaking of hot, let's check out some hot takes.
Let's do it. I heard you had a good one.
Yeah, let's start with this one. This is one of my best ones that I've gotten. We've been doing this show for about a month now. Here we go. This is from Mount Beckton on the app. Shout out to him. He's a big Jets fan, obviously. We're getting the 6-1 scoregami this weekend. What are your thoughts, Jack?
6-1 scoregami in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
How do you even score 1 point?
Okay, here we go. I'm up on my soapbox. This is how you score 1 point in an NFL game, excluding extra points, because I hope we all know.
PAT. I think we know that.
Other than extra points, PATs. This is the dark arts of scoregami. So what needs to happen is this is how I'm going to imagine it. There's really two scenarios, but this is how I imagine it.
Hold on. Can I make a guess really quick? I think I know.
Go ahead.
Is it the 1 point safety?
Yes, it's a 1 point safety. It might not be the one you're thinking of, though.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not thinking of a specific play. I just know it's a thing.
Okay, because I know it happened in college a couple times, like a 1 point defensive 1 point safety, but that is essentially an extra point. So here we go. This is grand parental supervision required. If you are under the age of 75, turn the camera off and come back in 5 minutes. Shout out to John Boyce for that bit. Anyways, so there's two ways this can happen. First way, I think this is the most logical way. Kansas City or Tampa lines up for an extra point. Someone on the other team has the audacity to block the extra point, pick it up, and start running the other direction. Then one of the lumbering linemen or Butker/suck-up or someone chases him down, forces a fumble at like the 1 or 2 yard line. Think Kirkpatrick with the Bengals when he had that 101-yard kick or 101-yard interception return, and he fumbled right at the goal line. Think that. Then the ball rolls into the end zone, and a Chief/Buck, whoever is kicking, recovers. It's 6-1. So you have to get a safety in your own end zone on a conversion attempt. Or it happens where Mahomes, they're looking to go up 8-0. Mahomes fires to Hill, picked by Carlton Davis. Davis runs 99 yards, fumble, and Mahomes recovers in the end zone. That's how you get 6-1. That is the hottest take I've seen in a long time.
That is, if that happens, this guy should be promoted somehow. Like he needs like a king icon next to his.
Mount Beckton can have my job if there's a 6-1 game tomorrow, Sunday night.
That'll be dead in one drive.
Yeah, it's like just a field goal ruins it. Any other scoring ruins it.
A safety, literally any way.
Yeah, I did it in Madden once, but then I was Buffalo. I was playing against Jacksonville. I scored. I ran backwards with I think Tyrod Taylor at the time. Just sprinted all the way back. So it's 6-1. And then later in the game, Jacksonville kicks a field goal, so it's 6-4. It's like, crap, I wanted it to be 6-1, but I ended up winning like 19-4, which of course is a unique score in its own right.
Yeah, it reminds me of when it was 7-5 in the Rams-Cardinals game, week 7.
Good times. I'm sure you've seen a lot of scoregami playing in the same division as Pete Carroll and Jim Harbaugh for all those years.
I'm pretty sure there's been a lot. I'd have to think, but there's definitely been a lot of scoregami in the NFC West.
You got 43-8. The Super Bowl. There was a Bengals 49ers game that was like 14-8 or something, 14-9, some goofy score that Harbaugh had Andy Lee run out of the back of the end zone, so ended up being a 5-point spread. Your Rams were in a 54-51 game on Monday Night Football.
Can't forget about that one. That was
a legendary one. I think the Chiefs set the record for most points by a losing team.
They are the first team I know for a fact they're the first team in NFL history to score 50+ points and lose.
Oof. That's just an oof. They're probably not going to do much more losing the next few years, though. All right.
With Jared Goff on the other side too, which this is good Jared Goff, but still.
This is good. I think Mahomes had 5 turnovers that game, like 3 picks, 2 fumbles.
I know he fumbled. I know Donald strip sacked him twice. One led to a touchdown.
Ebicam had 2 touchdowns, right?
Who had 2?
Because I had never heard of him before, and it's like, Samson Ebicam.
Oh, Samson Ebicam. Yeah, he had a pick 6 in that game.
Okay, so let's hear your hot take.
All right, I gotta look at this because I haven't seen it yet.
Ooh, there's a Rams one.
I see it. Well, this isn't much of a hot take. Rams will be in the Super Bowl because of the Stafford trade. I'm pretty sure a lot of people kind of agree with this one, though.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, let's do some rapid fire. Then we got some spicy finishing topic tonight. Okay, this is from TC_. If Mahomes loses this, he will never be the GOAT. I think that's a little premature.
It's hard to judge that because these two quarterbacks obviously we think Brady's the GOAT right now. These guys are on the opposite ends of their career. Like Brady's closer to retiring. Mahomes just got started a couple of years ago. Mahomes could go on to win like 7 Super Bowls.
Right.
We don't know.
Although it is a fair point that if he loses this one in particular to Brady's going to be up 6 and have a head. So I mean, if you're thinking then Mahomes has to probably win 7. Now, granted, I think Mahomes can win 7, but I don't know. Like a 7-1 advantage and the head-to-head, so it's essentially 7.5-1. That's interesting. I do think Mahomes is going to pass him statistically eventually.
It's the word "never" that like gets me here because it's like you just don't know until they're both retired. You just don't know.
All right, here we go. Sad Browns fan. Baker Mayfield, best in the division. I mean,
we're saying that to a Lamar Jackson fan here.
I mean, okay. Here's my thing. I've seen a lot of who are the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm saying Mahomes, Rodgers, Watson, Wilson, and then pick your favorite quarterback from 2018, whether it's Allen, whether it's Baker, whether it's Lamar. All 3 have, these like outstanding capabilities. Baker has the most consistency, if you will. He was good in 2018. He was good in 2020, not so good in 2019. Allen, this is his first year. And I know Lamar got a lot of crap last year because, it's only been 1 year. He's going to get figured out. Well, why don't you apply the same logic to Josh Allen? And look, Lamar, he had a down season with 26 passing touchdowns, 7 rushing touchdowns, and a 99 passer rating. That's a down season for no one else in NFL history. Congratulations. So, I mean, I'm not going to say Baker Mayfield isn't the best, but I'm not going to be screaming from the rooftops that he is. So it's either Lamar or Baker. Then Burrow's right behind, and I think Burrow. If anything, Burrow is going to be number 1 by.
Yeah, it's unfortunate we didn't get like a giant sample size because he looked decent while he played, but then he tore his ACL or his MCL, or whatever it was. So,
like outside of the Ravens game, which you can throw out because the Ravens just run some screwy defensive concepts. When he's playing a team that's normal, which is the 31 teams that are not named the Baltimore Ravens. When he plays a normal defense, he's really doggone good. And this is with no offensive line. This is with A.J. Green as your wide receiver 3. He's scary. It's scary. I don't like being in the same division as Joe Burrow, and he hasn't even beaten the Ravens yet. So, all right. Yeah. Gang Green 24. Sam Darnold is a franchise quarterback. Yes or no, Jack?
No.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
It's clear that the Jets want to move on.
And you don't trade a franchise guy.
No.
AJ Broncos, 18. These nuts. Thank you, sir.
Got him.
Okay. This is from Leo Spriggs. Sam Darnold is better than Mac Jones.
I can't really speak to this one because I don't watch college football. I know, shame, but
I love Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is going to be an NFL starter for 10 years if he goes to the right spot.
Yeah.
If he was the number 2 pick from the Jets screwed up. But if he goes to New Orleans, if he goes to Indy, if he goes to Chicago, they're right back in the playoffs. I think those teams, the drop off from Rivers, Breeze, although I would prefer to have Jameis play in New Orleans. Just come on now. Come on, New Orleans. Do the right thing. Pay Jameis, start Jameis. Do the right thing. But the drop off from like Phillip Rivers, Trubisky / Foles, I don't think it's a big drop off to Mac Jones. And I think talent wise, Mac Jones can make all the throws. He can throw to Allen Robinson if they resign him. He can throw to Pittman and Hilton and Campbell and Mack and Hines and Taylor and Doyle and Mo Alley Cox. Jones can make all the throws. I have no concerns with that. And then we got Javier Ascoli. The Chiefs will win the Super Bowl.
Hot takes here, people.
Hot take. And then he has another one. Watson lands in Denver.
That's more of a hot take, honestly.
Yeah, I feel you there. That's a spicy one. I mean, I would love to see Courtland Sutton. Cameron's the cornerback for Pittsburgh. I would love to see Courtland Sutton with a good quarterback. I would love to see. Oh my goodness! If I could have anything in the world, it would be Jerry Jeudy with a competent quarterback.
Oh, Jerry Jeudy would be unleashed if he got Deshaun Watson as his QB.
That just makes me happy because Jerry Jeudy is. I think Jerry Jeudy is the best route runner in the NFL. Point blank, I think I would take him over Adams, Diggs, Allen, Jefferson, you name it. I would take Jeudy. Look, I know he doesn't have great hands. I get it. But when you are fundamentally getting open more often than everyone else, it doesn't matter if you drop the occasional pass. Like you look at Amari Cooper. He's a top 10, top 12 receiver, runs great routes. You don't care about his drops until they actually happen. But he's not, he drops a lot. No, he's open a lot, so he's going to get if he drops passes occasionally, like more often than the average receiver does, he's still getting open way more often than even the elite receivers. So I would love to see Deshaun in
Deshaun, it's just the thing is, the reason why I kind of like this over him going to the Jets, I didn't catch timeout. I know there was probably a debate about that. But the thing is, if the Jets do get Watson, then what do you do with that second overall pick? Because, like, the consensus is they'll get Zach Wilson. But Zach Wilson, I don't think Zach Wilson's going to be a backup. And if you have Deshaun Watson, Deshaun Watson's going to be the starter. They're both young, obviously, because one's just starting their career. The other one's only played a few years.
Right.
How much longer would they be willing to deal with that? Because, like, it's tough. It's a tough call. Maybe you don't draft Zach Wilson if this doesn't happen before if they get Watson before the draft. So, I mean, I don't know. It's a tough call.
See, I think probably you include the number 2 pick in the trade. Like if you're the Jets, it's not a.
Who is that one defensive guy that they wanted?
In the draft?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. We mentioned his name. Sewell, I think.
Oh, Sewell, offensive tackle.
Sewell, okay. Yeah. Oh no, he was an OT.
Okay. Oh my goodness. If the Jets were to get Watson and Sewell, that might be one of the greatest off seasons in the history of football.
You put them together with Becton, I mean, good luck.
Man. Ooh. That's enticing. Oh, you know what else is enticing? Those beautiful NHL retro reverse jerseys besides Detroit.
Some beautiful, some should be burned.
Yeah, I feel you.
Let's get into it.
Do you have a graphic, or do you want me to just pull up a tier maker list?
Pull up a tier maker. I don't have one.
All right, so let's pop it. Here we go. Share screen. Chrome tab. Create a retro reverse. Okay, here we go. Oh, yes, sir. This is gorgeous. All righty. Let's see. So we got best, underrated, overrated, worst, and D tier.
I think we know which one we can start with D tier.
Good old Detroit.
Yeah, that's a practice jersey. Let's be real here.
It's not good. So the rest we'll do in alphabetical order. I think most of these are in alphabetical order. Florida and Nashville seem to not be playing nice with each other, but let's just go. Anaheim. I like the Anaheim ones.
Okay. I'm like getting up images so I can look closer. Sorry. Okay. The thing about I know the Ducks one though. To be completely honest with you, I think the only reason the Ducks went with this design is because you look back in their history and it feels like they've kind of done every combination imaginable with the design that they were running. Like they've had jade jerseys before, they've had the green or teal or whatever color it was jerseys before, and then obviously the white ones. I don't know if there's another color that they have not used they can use. I feel like that's the whole point of reverse retro. So they had to look at a different design, but it just so happens to be that the design they went off of might be the worst jersey in league history.
Ooh.
And it's
spicy.
Yeah, okay. I don't like it.
Okay.
I think it looks better white, but I'm not sure how much I like it. It's just it's crazy. Like there's so much going on. The font on the jersey looks like it's somebody, like a 5-year-old scribbled the names out and stuff.
Okay. We can put it in the worst tier. I don't think it's quite as bad as Detroit,
No, it's better than Detroit for sure.
We'll put it in the worst tier. All right, Arizona. This is a slam dunk. This is gorgeous.
Yeah, Arizona is like about as wild as Anaheim's, but this one is good. I like it.
Yeah, when I get some funds, when we start monetizing this, I think one of my first purchases is going to be one of is it Peyote Coyote, something like that?
I don't know. I haven't heard of that before.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Kachina, that kind of era, though. I know that was their logo. They used it for a while.
Let's move on to Boston. I think it's okay. It's a little. I don't know. It's just original 6. I don't think it's doing much for me.
Yeah, it's just some original 6 stuff. It's just one of those that's kind of there.
Yeah, I think
Like,
I'm going to go ahead and put it in the overrated category, just, original 6. So I think it's going to get probably bought a lot more often than you might imagine, but I don't think it's nothing special, I don't think.
yeah.
All right.
What's next? Buffalo.
Buffalo. All righty.
This is where they start to get weird, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is one that I think if the rest of the league's jerseys weren't like such a high quality, I would like it, but I think it's not as good as the next 20, Like I don't think it's anything special. I don't know. It's better than Detroit, but it's not. I would have it like the worst tier, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like one of those ones where it's weird to see, like, because the team was using completely different colors back then when they were wearing this jersey.
Right.
But it's name and logo accuracy. This is the only Sabres logo, I'm pretty sure, during that era that actually had sabers. Because Sabres is sword, not the buffalo that they were using. I think the new one, I don't know why I don't remember the new one, the one they're using right now, but I'm pretty sure it has sabers on it. So,
I mean, I like it. I don't think I'm not going to rush to buy it. I think it's with the quality of the jerseys we were analyzing today. I think it deserves to be in this worst tier.
Yeah.
All right, we got Calgary. I really like Calgary's.
The man, the myth, the legend, the horse, the myth, the legend, I should say, Blasty is back.
Yeah.
I'm
thinking underrated. I'm not a huge fan of these tiers, but this is a list with all 31 jerseys that are forward facing. So I'm thinking underrated tier.
I'd say underrated.
Because I know like Blasty doesn't have like the widespread appeal. So like comparing it with Boston, people are gonna buy the Boston B, and that's fine, whatever. People are gonna like, what's the horse on Calgary? That's not a flame.
It has flames on it.
It's true, but that's not a flame. It's like, no, I think it's a really clean jersey.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think your logo necessarily, like I just got done talking about Buffaloes, but to be fair, I don't think in some cases your logo necessarily has to be what it is, like what the team is named. Like Boston, their logo, it's called a Bruin. A Bruin is a bear. Yeah. There's a bear on their alternate logo, but there's no bear on the actual logo that they've been using for years.
Right.
But it's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Blasty. So yeah, let's move on to. I think this one's my favorite.
Carolina Hurricanes / Hartford Whalers.
I think I'm going to say this probably 5 times, but I think this one's my favorite. Hartford. Yeah. I love everything to do with Hartford. Carolina hit a home run on this one, grand slam. If you could score 5 runs on a home run, this is it.
Yeah. It's got to be up there.
Yeah, that's just bang, bang, perfect jersey, I think. Like, if there was, like, a better than best, I think Hartford's there. So I don't know who. It's tough to, like, rank these, because I think
there's a lot of
Arizona and Carolina just knocked it out of the park. Columbus, I don't think they knocked it out of the park, but I think they had a solid double.
Yeah, I don't hate this one. Honestly, like I don't love it. Like I'm not gonna rush to buy it if I had the money for it, but I can't say I hate it. I like that old logo. It looks great in the modern colors.
Yes.
Maybe just make the shoulders blue instead of white.
Ooh, that would look nice.
I feel like there's a lot of white on this one.
Yeah. I'm overrated or underrated?
Huh. I'd say overrated.
Okay, I'm cool with that. Because I think it's a solid one, but I mean, again, there's 10 of these that I love, so I don't think it's quite on par with those. Speaking of those, Chicago, it's okay.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it. I think it's a pretty fair, like, not worst, but like it's better than Detroit. I don't think it's quite as good as like Boston and Columbus.
I think every jersey on here is better than Detroit. Let's be real.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have one Detroit jersey here, and it's gonna be a bunch of worsts and a bunch of overrateds and a bunch of underrateds and a bunch of bests. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and throw Chicago into the worst category. It's a solid one, I think it's. I mean, it's a good jersey, but out of this group of 31, I don't think it's special.
Yeah, it doesn't stand out really that much.
No.
Speaking of ones that stand out.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just throw it in the best, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
End of discussion, honestly. The Nordiques, it's that logo has a really funny story too, because had the Nordiques actually stayed where they were, that logo would have been dead because the team was going to rebrand.
They were wolves, right?
Yeah, or it was still going to be called the Nordiques, but they were going to use like a wolf logo or something. The colors were going to be completely different. And I mean, that's just like absurd to think about nowadays.
For real, it's just gorgeous. The color scheme. As much as I hate the Avs, love the color scheme. Love everything about this jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And
beautiful.
Dallas, I can't really say the same.
My big issue with Dallas is that this was a jersey that was often split into two different colors on the top and bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it works very well with white on white.
No, I don't think so either.
I feel like I don't know what, it's just, again, it's a similar situation with Anaheim, is that like they've used a lot. I don't know which one they haven't used.
Mm-hmm. This is one I really want to put it D tier, but it's not as bad as Detroit.
It's going to keep being our basis for it. I just think we should call it D tier for just Detroit tier, and then everything else goes in worse.
Yeah, we'll throw that in there. Alrighty. Oilers, I think it's kind of basic. I wish there was like a basic tier, or if there was a simple, because this doesn't like, if Connor McDavid skated out onto the ice wearing this, I wouldn't think, oh, that's an alternate jersey, but that's a cool jersey.
Yeah,
that's just a standard one.
Those are my thoughts exactly. Like, they've gone with the same design so many times, it doesn't stand out at all. I think you got to put it in the worst tier only because it's been like around for so long. Like, I saw those and I was like, are those a reverse retro jersey? Because I can't tell what's being reversed here.
Yeah, because it's like the Arizona, something's going on. Carolina, Colorado, not Chicago, sorry. Calgary, something else is going on. Even Boston and Columbus, there's something special with it. Edmonton, it's just like they wore the same darn jersey.
Maybe the shoulder yoke is a different color. I don't know. I don't remember. Again, it's been so similar for so long.
Yeah, it feels very Detroit-y to me that it's like you didn't really change much. Now, at least Detroit has the excuse that they don't have much to change.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, in Detroit's defense, like, we keep shitting on their jersey, but let's be real. What's a reverse here? Like, what, do they just start using like a black jersey or something? Like, they don't have much to work with.
Yeah, their only colors in their history are red and white. So.
Yeah,
and you've had the same logo since World War II, so
yeah,
not really
much to work with. But I mean, you probably could have done something better than just gray stripes and leaving it alone.
Yeah, so
like,
speaking of a good jersey, I really like LA's.
I love it. I don't mean to be biased at all, but it's freaking gorgeous. Yeah. I love it so much. I love how they combine the two different eras too. Because
we're just gonna throw that one in the best category. I love anything purple. I love purple and gold together.
I miss so bad when the Kings used to wear purple. I want that back. The one that I want back is like before their rebrand that they're using right now, when they were using the crown and it had the purple and the black and the silver and the white.
Ooh, yeah,
that was gorgeous. I want them to go back to that so bad.
Yeah, I like that one.
Keep the current logo as an alternate. I don't think it's a bad alternate, but the crown has to be front and center. But in terms of the colors, like, this is just, it's gorgeous. It takes the Gretzky jerseys, combines them with the original colors. You can't beat that.
Ooh, I love it. And I said it with Carolina. I said it with Colorado. Minnesota, in love. Just the you get the North Stars color scheme plus the Wild, smash it together. Ooh, yes.
They are not the only team on this list, by the way, that's like going after like history of the location and not the team itself, because obviously we know the North Stars eventually became the Dallas Stars.
Right.
But
I'm putting in best.
Yeah, they're honoring the heritage of the area. I think it's a really good jersey, and I like the stars that were on there somewhere.
Yes, I just love it. It's in my top, definitely my top five. There's a couple that are coming up that are up there in the top five, but ooh, yes, Minnesota Grand Slam here. Montreal, I think it's workable.
Yeah. My thing with Montreal is that Montreal is a team that has they have tried a bunch of different jersey designs in like their history. Like that when they started out, they were only using blue and white.
Right.
That's to give you an idea of how long ago it was. And they've used a lot of interesting designs over the years, but then when they finally settled on that design, I don't even know the year it came out. What did they? I need to like look this up, but I want to finish this point.
Yeah.
Whenever they came up with it, they just used it forever, and it's timeless. It's the most timeless jerseys in the league.
Yeah.
They did not really have anything else. Like if you're gonna go with a reverse jersey, I mean, you might as well reverse the blue and the red because like what else are you gonna do? But it looks good.
Yeah, it's like Detroit doesn't have much to work with. They still screwed it up. Montreal doesn't have much to work with, and I'm going to throw them in the underrated tier because that's just
the jerseys have been basically the same design ever since like the 19 like before 1920. Like the logos in the front has changed a lot, but the jersey design has basically been the same, and it's like it's the most timeless jerseys in the league. I don't think you can beat them. So like that was the only option they could go with, and I think it looks good.
Yeah, I think it looks great. You know, maybe not quite as good as the best tier, but I think it's pretty good.
I'll say this though, because we got to see them in action. I think last night or the night. I don't remember if it was last night or the night before. My point is, the blue on the jersey is a different shade as the blue pants, and that drives me insane.
Ooh, okay. I don't think I would like that.
Yeah. It was like the Rams when they were using their throwbacks and they were using royal blue jerseys and the helmets were navy blue.
Ouch. Yeah, the NFL needs to figure out something with the helmets.
They did. The single helmet shell rule is going away.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that more later. Though. I'm sure we'll talk football uniforms next time.
Yeah, we can touch on that next week. It's it's getting a little late, so let's hurry through. Thoughts on the Devils?
I don't hate it.
I think it's good. If there was like a solid tier, I'd put it there. But I don't know.
I think we put it underrated only because there's a significant lack of green other than Dallas in the league.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Islanders
and Minnesota too. I forgot about them. Worse.
Yeah,
this isn't great.
It's very similar to Edmonton in that if they wore that on the ice, I don't think I would notice. Like, I don't think there's anything special. Rangers. I
would be willing to put this one in underrated, honestly, because a lot of people don't like how plain it is, but I like the Lady Liberty logo at center.
Yeah, I think it's something that I would notice. You know,
maybe the sleeve striping could have been a little bit different, but I don't think it's a bad look. I like it front and center.
All right, Ottawa. I think it's a lot of red.
Very much red.
A lot of red. Yeah.
Ottawa, because this year Ottawa had a full-on rebrand. I say rebrand, but I should say like debrand because they went back to an older identity that they had. They went back to an old logo. They went back to old jersey designs. There was a black jersey and a white jersey. Now they have the red one. This is more of an alternate.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I think it's maybe in the overrated tier.
Yeah, I'd say put it overrated.
Because it's like enough of a difference that it's cool, but not enough of a difference. Like if that was our third jersey, okay, cool. I might wear it when I play NHL 21. Philly. I like Philly a lot.
I like it.
I think maybe underrated.
Yeah, underrated. I love the orange with the black shoulder yoke instead of the white one. I think it looks a lot better.
And you just like that. The Flyers logo, one of the more iconic ones in the NHL.
I don't think they've ever changed that logo once.
Yeah, since 1967. Like when I think Flyers, when I think hockey, I think that Flyers logo. It's one of the prettiest ones in all of sports, I think. We should do a logo. Eventually, we're going to get to a logo.
Yeah, we're going to make jerseys and logos a big part of the show in the coming weeks. So.
All right. Pittsburgh, I think it's overrated.
Why's that?
I'm not a big fan of the word mark, just like the diagonal word mark.
You know what they should have done is bring back the RoboPen for this one.
Oh, yeah.
If you remember that logo, I honestly, and I might get flamed for this, I don't think Pittsburgh's current logo is bad, but I feel like they should go back to the Robo Penguin. I love that
I
one.
think they kind of downgraded. Like when I was younger, with like the more goldy color than the yellowy color they have now.
Yeah.
I preferred that. Like when they beat the Wings in the Cup, I preferred that logo to what they have now. And then the '90s stuff is timeless with like Lemieux, Yager. Like love that.
Yeah.
Sharks. I know you probably have some strong opinions about a division rival.
Okay, well, I know they're a division rival, but this is in the top tier or underrated. One of the top two. I love the gray.
I'll go underrated. I like that.
Underrated's fair. I love the teal. I love the gray. It's a really nice year for what that team's history has. I think it's great.
Yeah, love it. St. Louis.
Ladies and gentlemen, your St. Louis Reds. That's what we should call them now.
Okay. That's funny. I really like the red with St. Louis. I think that's a solid underrated tier.
I'd go overrated, but I think we'll just differ there. We'll agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah, this is one that next time I need to be more prepared with a better graphic, because I don't necessarily think it's underrated. It's somewhere in between, but yeah. Tampa.
I like it.
Yeah, I do. I'll move St. Louis down and we'll put Tampa up.
Okay, that's fair.
Spot. I think that's fair. I think the logo is kind of cool. It feels like if they wore that on the ice, whatever, but I think it's cool.
I like it because it has more color than what they use now. Like, I think they're just discount Toronto at this point. They need to use more, I think, black in their primary branding. Like, their alternates, I actually really like the all-black alternates. It has, like, a silvery logo. It has, like, gradients on the sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it works, and I really like it for Tampa.
Speaking of Toronto, this is a pretty basic one. You know, if Toronto wears this, you know, when they do wear it, it's like, are they really anything different?
There's gray.
Yeah.
That's the logo, but, I mean, what else did you do other than the colors? And again, Toronto's kind of in a Detroit situation. They've only ever used blue and white their whole time.
Hey, they used red once.
Yeah, they did. You're right. They used red once, and I think they used green once, but those were short-lived.
Hats were green, and then I think they had like a legitimate, for maybe a season, they wore red in honor of a war or something.
Something
Canadian Canadian veterans, I think.
Yeah.
Canucks.
Love.
Yeah, I like it. I'm cool with putting it in the best tier.
Yeah, I say gradients don't work on like football, like because I mean here I am wearing a gradient number, but like I mean in terms of like the uniform as a whole, like not just a number. And like the Atlanta Falcons when they did it, I didn't like that.
Ooh,
but I think
it looks good. It looks good. Like when I've seen them, when I've watched Falcons games, it looks good. Like I don't think
better on the field, to be honest.
Yeah, it doesn't. Like if you look on Fanatics, that doesn't do it justice.
Yeah, but I think in this sense, because it has more of a design in the first place, it uses a lot more green. I love this jersey. I think it looks great.
Vegas is one of my favorites.
Vegas with the all red.
I'm immediately going to best.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that alternate logo finally getting some front and center use. Yeah.
And this might be 3 in a row. I love Winnipeg.
Like Winnipeg's is clean.
It's in my top 5. You know, if I had to choose a top 5, it's
oh, don't choose a top 5. We're gonna take forever.
Yeah, we are. Okay, Washington.
Underrated.
Yeah,
I like Washington a lot.
I love how like gigantic the Eagle is. Like there's no questions about what jersey it is. There's nothing. You know, this is swag, essentially.
Yeah.
Speaking of swag, or lack thereof, Florida.
Don't hit it.
It's okay.
They've used a lot of different color combos before.
Yeah.
Florida's another one of those teams that's like tried everything.
I'd probably throw it in the overrated tier.
Yeah.
And then Nashville.
I'd be willing to put in underrated because I actually like it better than what they use now. Like their regular home jerseys are. If this was their regular home jersey, maybe they swap the white and blue. I'd like it. Their current ones are way too yellow.
Yeah, I'm somewhere between underrated and overrated. I think it's a solid jersey. Yeah, we'll put it in underrated. And
All right.
yeah.
So
Let's wrap it up.
that is our list. If you guys agree or disagree, you want to change anything, let us know.
Yeah. Let's sound off in the comments or shoot us a DM on the app.
Something
As if there's DMs on the app.
just something. Shout us out, tag us.
Yeah. At Splash, at Jack Mitchell, we're both there. I don't have a life, so I'll probably reply to you.
You think I do? I don't have one. I'm just out here watching Rams games all day.
Man, I do have to get to some homework though.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back probably next Friday. Hopefully next Friday. That'd be nice.
Imagine so.
Next Friday. So, peace out, folks.